Hi, my name is Felipe Costa. If you're watching this series of techniques, it's either because we have met before, you heard about me a little bit, or you got curious about the live-sparring, the concept that I chose to teach on this sequence. If you haven't heard anything about me, what you need to know is that I'm a regular guy with a big passion for Jiu-Jitsu. And that passion is what drove me all the way from being a kid practicing as a hobby to have Jiu-Jitsu as my professional. I managed as a black belt to conquer all major titles in gi, with the gi in Jiu-Jitsu, but it took me a long while to conquer that. In the color belts, I never won a gold medal on my IBJJF, but I kept insisting, I kept training, and the most important, I kept focusing on improving my techniques. And with that in mind, with that focus and the help of people who I have trained along this path, and my teachers, of course, I was able to get here, okay? And what I want you to show today on the whiteboard is not just one technique that will make a difference on your game. It's a concept that you're going to be able to incorporate to your game. Whiteboard is not one thing alone, it's a combination of many important concepts. A lot of the things I'm going to be showing you here on the sequence, every technique that you see, you're going to see that it's combined of things you already know. Okay, I'm not going to show something, oh, I never saw that in my life, but I will combine that little thing with something else, and I'm sure it's going to blow your mind, and you're going to see, why didn't I think of that? And that's my intention over here. By the end of this series, you're going to be able to have a new strategy, a new game, and you're going to improve your game right away. I will start with a technique come from butterfly, from sitting guard. I will quickly go over, just in case you are not very familiar with, but as you will see along the techniques, I will show that you can do the wide guard coming from many different situations. So every time I'll give you a little hint and a little perspective of which way you can do that is different to find yourself on the same spot. So imagine you're starting here, basic sitting guard, butterfly like some people call. You manage to get the underhook, the inside control, and the basic hook sweep, what it is, you control. There are some people who like to put the hand on the back. I prefer to put the hand towards the belt, drop on my shoulder, sweep to fall on top, correct? It's a very basic sweep, very effective, very good, and leads you to other situations, such as this one. Imagine that now that I managed to get over here, I control, and I'm going to do this. She cannot post. So what's a very normal reaction? To stand up that leg, okay? So you might think that I'm blocked, but it leads you to be able to grab the leg. Very important. If you just come up here on the line of the knee, you might start a position and you're going to have to rely on your strength to move because she gets heavy on this knee right away. So what's important that you do, when you go and when you decide to go for the inside the leg, is to aim for the heel. So you're going to put the bend of your arm right behind the heel over here. And now, very important, look how my hip is going to go inside. So even if it's a stronger person, a heavier, you manage to stretch the leg. Let me do that again. Look over here. Hard to pull, right? But when I do this and I move my hip inside, I manage to do it. Now, my legs are going to be crucial the way they behave. If I just leave here, it's going to give too many options, and the person will start to become heavy on top of you. What I do right away, I pinch my legs together. I push it away. Look already the position of my body. Now you start to see the why. I know the name is a little bit catchy, but it's going to help you to remember where we are and where we go from here, okay? So over here, I could do the classic sitting up, like in Brazil we used to call this joga fora no lixo. From here, we change. This is what I do. I want to switch the legs to the other side. Notice this, even if it's a strong person, a heavy leg, if you come here, put your hands together on the foot and change to this side, it's going to be extremely light. And this is a very strong leverage. Look how I move her entire body when I do this. So right away when I make that motion, I will have the reactions to sit up. I have a free space to come, okay? The person is heavy on that side, I come up. Very important, do not hold the belt, too much space. You want to come up, guard the hip. I'll show the other elbow afterwards. Look the position I am, look my position. Ready for technical stand up. So from here, all I have to do, post, control outside, make sure the person doesn't stand up, stay on the back. That's already considered a sweep. Let me show from that angle over here. So again, I go, stand up, bring it, move, pinch the knees together, switch for that side. Now the person is heavy on that leg. I will show what you do when there are different reactions. But that's a common reaction. I'm pushing her away, keep it, come up, technical stand up. I'm here on the back. Once again, I'm going to start with her back towards you, just so you see different angle. Stand up that leg, bring it, pinch it together, a little bit faster. Look, the knee helps me come up, helps in case the person is heavy to push a little bit forward, come up, stay on the back. One last time, now we'll go full speed. Now I'm facing, my back facing you, come up, bring, put it together, control, bring it up, and stay on the back. If you're thinking about competition points, you get your 2 points. Even if you don't compete, you don't care for points, it's a great way of coming out from the bottom to the top. Little by little, I will show different ways for you to enter on the same guard, okay? On the same position. But just to make it simple and easier to understand, let's start from the same position we did on the previous one. So I'm controlling, the person stands up, I go inside, I dive in, and I push. On the previous situation, she became heavy on the other leg. So it was extremely easy for me to do this and come up. At this time, the moment that I did this, she had the reaction to shift the weight on that direction. When that happens, you have to be concerned with a few things. For example, at first, you don't want her straight away to post the hands. And it's easy for you from here to follow and catch. Ideally, what you want is to control that sleeve and control the shoulder. Because she's heavy on the leg, it's easier for me to help her even to come. So I just go with the flow using my legs. When I change the angle, you're going to see how my hook works on the other side. So right away, I bring it, and where she has no base, to this side. Notice when I come up, I'm not just throwing her and staying here. I'm connecting to her, because that will give me the chance to already pass her guard, pass the leg. I fall kind of like a leg drag position. But because I'm connected, when I fall, I keep the motion and I secure in a good angle, okay? You're gonna see how my hook works from that angle over here. So the same beginning, I go. She's not heavy there. When I change, she comes over here. Notice that I have still the hook inside. I control, okay? I will show, what if I cannot make it work? I'll show all of that. But for now, let's say everything worked out well. You control here, on the shoulder, maybe on the lapel, okay? And look the hook, extremely important. And notice one thing, my hip has to be alive. I cannot just be relying on the strength of my leg and arm, okay? So once I move the hip, you see how just by doing that shift, how it becomes easy to come up, turn, and secure the position already on the side. Maybe even with a grip that makes it extremely hard for the person to react and fall and recover the guard once it's going down, okay? Let's do it from that angle. Same beginning, come up, break, pinch the leg, change. Now the person shifts. I manage to control. Look at my hip, move it in. The hook, come up, switching positions, hitting over here. If you do have the grip, even better. And you're safe on the side. So that shows the basic reactions going to one side, away from you, where you can come up through the back, or the person put pressure on you. So it gives you the flow, the action-reaction kind of thought, and that's it for now. The more you understand the Y guard and where you see in different positions, you're going to be able to see for yourself the entrance. For now, every time I'm going to try to give a little hint, a different possibility. For example, when I'm over here, you probably have seen this for people who do like deep half guard, and that's the connection I made. So, for example, from here, if I manage to get the control of the knee and the belt, this is the motion I do. Look, I will stretch my leg and I will do this. Get in. Almost if I'm bringing the person to the mount. Of course, that leg keeps me safe. Okay? Once I do this, I will start to go my back and bring the person on top of me so it becomes lighter on the hip and heavier on my head. That will allow me, look, bring it in, bring it. The person becomes heavier here. See how she needs to close the hand? Now, my leg is lighter. Notice one thing, little but very important detail. If I try to bring my knee on that line, I'm fighting against her weight. But if I open up, it's going to be much lighter. And of course, I'm helping with my hands. See where we're going? Now I push her and we find ourselves in the same position. Okay? So as I mentioned, you're going to start to see for yourself when the possibilities come. Now, again, right away, as soon as I can, I shift. If I take too long, and that's a key point, when you find yourself over here, you don't want to wait too long thinking, I'm fine. If you're going to rest or take a moment to think, do it with the leg on this side. Here you can stop to think. Each person will have a different reaction, okay? We already saw the reaction of the person being heavy here. We saw the reaction of the person being on top of you. Now what might happen is, when you start to get the chance to come up, as you're coming up, the person stands up as well. It's very common when you come this way. It's very common for that to happen when they don't want to accept to be on the bottom, especially people who think a lot about points and all of this. So the moment you find yourself here, notice how I came a little bit to the side, but my hand stays connected to the hip. So it's almost like I'm hooking the leg over here like this, okay? So I have a connection. She's not free to move wherever she wants. That connection gives me the freedom to reach bottom here, close to the leg. Ideally, what I want to do is make a grip on the pants. Okay, of course, if perhaps it's an okay situation, you're going to grab like this. But if it's not, this is what I like. Now look one thing, if I'm having trouble to bring the leg, this is what I do. I move to the side, okay? And now it becomes lighter. So come back up. That's the motion. Even if the person doesn't drop or if you pose the hand, in both situations might happen. This is what I do. Now notice one thing. We know that's a good base, and we know what's a bad base. For example, if she takes a step back, you see how she starts to lose the base? This is what I'm going to do. The moment that I do this, I'm starting to bring her down. So go back. Let's turn this way. That's the important situation. Look, I come up, and this is the angle that I start cutting. And from here, the person is back down, and then it's a whole new sequence. Okay? Let me show from the start again. Stay on the knees. It might even be, I showed inside control, but it might even be on the collar, on the sleeve. Basically, you just have to do that motion going inside. So let me show from here. This will be a little bit different. Bring it, boom, pressure, coming up, switch. She's coming up. Look again, I already have. Maybe I come up straight away. Maybe I connect, and there I go. The important thing is once I do this, that's the motion. Look, keep your balance. Look what I do. That's the motion. The person will always lose the balance because you're controlling. When you do this, you are connected. So you make the person fall and you secure the top. If the person is going to fall on the bar, fall on the knees, it doesn't matter so much, but you have a good control. Back on this situation, like I said, it doesn't matter how you get there, okay? Let's imagine the same situation happens for now. So, like this, came in, push it distance, came up. I want to work on the situation where I got over here again. I was doing the technical stand-up. I didn't have the time to control and put the person down. She reacted together and came up, just like before. Now I'm going to try the previous one, but the person has good base. It's extremely hard to make her move, and even when she does take tiny steps, it's with a good base. So I lost my momentum because it's much easier to do the technique when the person is coming up. Now you find yourself over here. You're not a great wrestler. You're afraid of hurting yourself by exchanging position standing up. This is an option that I first saw with Alexandre Vieira, and then I learned from him and adapt so much with the wide guard, which is you keep controlling here. I'm going to take a step inside, and my knee, my shin is going to come behind the opposite leg. It's going to be that motion over here. I'm going to do it at once, and then I try to break it slow afterwards. But this is the motion over here. Look this situation. This is where we find ourselves. And again, because I don't stop here, by shifting my weight, I put the person down and come up. Very important that you understand, turn this way a little bit. Once I get over here, how this is so much connected with the wide guard. Look, I'm going to drop myself down, she's going to come up. Look over here, same as we had before, remember? In a previous technique. So, he was doing something completely different. He wasn't thinking of wide guard. And in my head, because I'm conscious about the movement, I was like, that fits perfect. And that's my intention over here. I want you to be able, once you understand the whole sequence we're going to work, that you can see for yourself and connect the dots. Okay? So once again, stand up, please. Imagine you got it over here. That's the motion. Look, this is where you put yourself. I'm stopping. That's why she's falling a little bit on top of me. But if I do a complete reaction, let's turn this way a little bit. Look what happens. Complete reaction. See how I come connected? This is the technique everybody wants nowadays. The leg drag, perfect position, ready to go to the back, ready to control. So many options, and it fits perfect on that case. Let me show once more. Now, from the beginning, you can stand up, no problem. Let's imagine I found myself over here, coming up. She came up. Look the motion. Whoa. Boom. Coming, controlling, stay on top, advancing towards the back. I'm repeating that a lot because I want you to make that clear. You know, you can find the wide guard situation from many different positions. So imagine once again we find ourselves on the back and we're trying to take down. We go for the previous one, the one we showed before, where I'm doing this for the person to fall. But this time, all I managed to do is to make my opponent fall on the knees. And that's not a very good control, because once I let go, she's going to go right back up and I'm going to have to do all my work again. So let's do from this area. Look what I'm going to do. Once I do this, look the position she has. She's maybe trying to run away, all of this. This is the control. Look at my movement and how I'm going to react. The outside knee is going to jump into this position. Look where I'm putting. Hook, knee inside, and I'm again on the back. Very similar to the other takedown. The difference is I'm going to go with the flow, bring the person on top of me. Look the hook, again, position myself. I want to make sure my hands is across the body so she doesn't have freedom to move. Once again. So, I do this. That's the motion. Look my hand where it goes, on the body. That's the motion I'm coming up. Okay, come back up, Maria, that way. Look, I'm in the wide guard, correct? I'm just becoming very conscious of the possibilities. And if I have the hook, just by dropping my leg, and on this case I'm controlling here on the belly, I come up and I'm connect with the person. Go again. Let's go from the back like this. So I'm coming down, look my motion. Again, stay there. Bring it up, look. Bring it. Controlling, securing the position. If you think about it, come back up for a moment. Same motion as before, right? But now we're coming from a lower situation, a lower level. She's not completely standing up. Put this knee down, please. And I'm doing that motion over here. Bring it over here, on the head, and secure the position. So little by little, we're going to be able to see all the possibilities. The last three of the sequence, we did a little bit standing up. Now I'm going to go back on the ground, but I will talk about more situations like this when the person wants to stand up in a little bit. Keep it the sequence. Now I'm going to go back. Every time I want to explain something, when you are waiting on the whiteboard, I'm going to make it maybe something we did it before. It's a good way to review, but the most important detail is going to come after. Okay, so imagine again, same example. I went to sweep, she puts the leg up, I enter, I get over here. This time, as I'm doing this, remember before, I was able to control the leg, and I could do one side or the other. Now she had a better reaction. She put the leg this way, and she starts to get the inside. If I don't do anything, if I don't react, this is what's going to happen. She's going to shove my leg, and I'm in trouble. Okay? So, if I find myself on the whiteboard, and she managed to control the inside of my arm and shove my leg down, she will succeed. She will be better than me. So I know that. So what I have to do to prevent that? First thing, I don't want to leave. Let me go from the start so my hook is inside. I don't want to leave this relax. And it doesn't mean I have to be strong. If I make that angle, my knee like this, and she forces down, even if I'm strong, I will end up losing. So for her not to put this down, what I need to do? I need to point my knee up. And for that, all I have to do is adjust my hip, and I'm pointing on that direction. Try to put down. Much harder, nearly impossible if they're similar size. Okay? So now I have this. But look one thing. What was she doing before? She shoved and slid the knee. So come back. So now I'm afraid of that. So the moment that I turn and put it back, what I don't want is for her to skip that leg. So I will take it out, and now for the first time, I'm closing the whiteboard. Okay? When I was thinking about what name to put and what to teach on this series, one of my friends suggested one leg close board, which I find extremely funny, but in reality it's just the whiteboard, but closing. What's crucial here? To close on top of the hip. Okay? This is very important. Remember, she had this leg down and the inside control. So I need to regain that. All I need to do is make sure my hands are inside. Even if she's trapped over here, my hands are inside. I will push the head, control the lapel. This is what I like to do. I make a grip like if I'm punching the throat over here. So I make enough distance for what? Bring it inside. Now I have this arm trapped. And again, I can do the same thing going for that side. Now come back. Very commonly, the person posts the hands. There are different things I can do. Just to keep it simple, for now, I will close her arm here. Okay, be careful with your fingers when I do this. And now she cannot post. And I use the motion of my hip. Especially now that I have the close guard, I have a lot of control on what to do over here. And I will come up. Important thing, look how my leg is closed. And I will keep like this all the way to the top. Once I do this, I push the ground, and just now, I take it out. Why is that? If I get excited and I want to come up, and I'm doing this, there's nothing stopping her from coming inside. I'll just grab it inside, yes, and start to put me on 50-50, or if she's familiar with, even the wide guard, okay? So I don't want that. So I'll make sure to keep it locked all the way to the end. Let's show this angle now. So basic one, bring, you start to shove my knee down, I bring it up, lock. See how she's losing balance already? Fantastic, great. But if it happens that she keeps here and it's inside, really hug my shoulder here, really track, I push the head, make distance, elbow inside. If it's trapped, I can already come up. Sometimes the person posts and I will close, okay? Be careful with the fingers, not so much a problem, but you never want to hurt your training partner. Once you come up, you see how I don't lock all the way up. Over here, I just push the ground, coming up. Now I'm safe, and I can get out and secure myself on 50-50, it's a position that leads tremendously into wide guard. There's a lot of moments, and before I go into it so much, I want to go over a little bit of the basics of the 50-50. And even if you are a higher belt, I think you're going to appreciate it, because a lot of times we have our game, we know what to do, but we miss a little detail that helps even the advanced stuff. So what I'm going to show now, it's very basic, but it works a lot, okay? So if we find ourselves in this position, and when I learned about 50-50, everything that I'm going to show here, I learned from Ryan Hall back a few years ago. And everybody knows how specialized he is on it. And he was able to clear my mind of the possibilities. And again, at a certain point when I was able to see like, wow, that connects straight into the wide guard, it was like really like a game changer for me. So I want to go over that to start with. The first thing that I teach to my students when they ask about 50-50 and they don't know much about it is I say, once you find yourself standing on that position, you want to have you facing outside, okay? If the two of you are here and you manage to put the person out, you have some advantage, okay? If she managed to put myself over here, it's harder for me. Even if she's coming up, imagine she's coming up, and over here I manage to face it out, you see how I always regain her, I take her balance off, and I manage to regain control, okay? So that's the basic idea, something if you've never heard of this that I'm saying, you should get a training partner and play with this a little bit. Let's see who's gonna win this. That's the motion that I want you to do. The person fights to get out, and I fight to get in. A lot of times she's getting, look what I do, take this on, just so I see. I kind of stretch my leg, turn, and bring. So I kind of engage with the back over here. So it gives me the chance of coming out, okay? Now, talking a little bit of strategy, that's what you would see in the beginning when people start winning tournaments. They would do this, technical stand up, come up and secure the position for the points. Some people would do this, stay just enough to get the advantage and come back and do work. There's all kind of strategy, but just to give you a glimpse of this. But the understanding is, it doesn't matter if you manage to control and come up, if you don't untie yourself, of course, unless if you're attacking some kind of foot block and stuff. But I'm talking about sweeps, control, and manage to stay safe on top or safe back on bottom, okay? So the moment that I do this, if my leg is strapped, even if I start to stand up, she's going to be able to, or at least have a possibility of regain that control. So the basic idea, put your back on the ground, please. For me, is to come up with the leg outside. If she makes a mistake and leaves that much space, then I can do this and come up with a technical stand up and secure the top. Great, that's what you want. And now, just for a moment, think of this. Where are we? Wide guard. Of course, if she stays down, you're gonna go up and take the opportunity. But imagine that I do this and she sits. Look what I'm gonna do. Wait. That's what I'm gonna do. As soon as her back comes off the ground, I will lock. So I'm in the close wide guard. Now I know what you do. If she comes up, I know I'm going to be able to take the back. I know I can control and go in a good position. So you're going to see many possibilities from here. Let's imagine now, but it's not going to be easy. People are holding your leg. Okay, let's see a simple one. Again, the one that I learned at first, it is still useful. Of course, there's been developments. I have improved, people have improved, but this is the base, okay? Control, find the space to put a hook, just like if we do spider work. Now open up, come, secure your leg, and you're back on the position. Let's turn to this side. So you see a little bit, same leg. So imagine, even if she's coming up, look, she gets over here, look, open up. Where am I? You see it? Right there. So now I'm going to see, we're still going to see a lot of options, but let's keep with the ones that we saw. She's heavy over here, I'm going to come up. She's heavy here, I'm going to shift my head and come on top. So it all came, let's say you do 50-50 from whatever position. You know now that, come up, start to stand up. If you find a way to put your leg to the other side, you will have a good control, okay? So just wanted to go over that, like I said, very basic, but for you to see how it's connected. And I want you to be able to see many of those opportunities, but I'm trying to handle a few options over here. If you already have a good understanding of 50-50, as I mentioned before, you're going to find many opportunities. I'm going to give another one that I like it very much. And it happens to me quite often when the person managed to kind of surprise me and come in on that position. The first thing, my first concern when that happens is I want to close myself. I don't want to be relaxed and either spasm like this, like stretching my arm. I want to connect. It's almost like I want to trap that leg a little bit, okay? So do it again. So she has that reaction, this is what I close. Because I'm keeping that distance, I come with the leg and that helps me. Some people will have that movement easier than others, or maybe they're more flexible. I'm not super flexible, but I'm able to do this. I stop and I pass my leg. Once I pass, what do you see? Straight away, 50-50, right? Now look, once I trap my leg over here, how do I make her lose balance? There are a few ways. If I put my head inside, often I do by reaching the leg, and I'm turning this way. Notice that just that movement, how she starts to lose the balance. And I will make that motion and then put her back down. Once she falls, I'm in the position. I'm secure. Look where I find myself over here. Maybe I can stand up right away, I get my points, or I start to fight to release my leg, or I start to attack foot blocks, whatever you like to do. Okay, so that's a sweep. Let me show again the sweep without talking about the connection with the wide guard. So she does pass, now come to this side please. Does pass, I'm blocking. Look how I'm doing that motion and bringing my hip up. I'm not like this, I'm really bringing my hip up. So do it again. Coming this way, this is what I do. I push to find the space. Once it's over here, my head goes inside. That's the motion I make. That's the motion I make. And then it becomes easy to put it down, maybe follow straight away, come up, maybe attack the foot somehow. Doesn't matter. I'm just showing you how we can do the sweep for the 50-50. Now, here comes the good part, the connection with the wide guard. And the trick that I do every time. I don't even go to 50-50 anymore because I'm so confident of the power, the connection that a wide guard gives you, that this is what I do. So again, from the same angle. So let's do this angle now. So imagine you pass, I'm blocking, I'm coming. When I pass, often I go straight away there. Before I talk this, let's imagine that I insist on this one. Now I go down. The person will go down. I have an option of staying connected, and if that happens, we're glued to each other. Now, instead of that, the moment where she falls, I don't follow. I let her fall, and then we'll create the space. Look what happens. She falls, my leg is out. What I do now, shove to the other side. Her reaction is to come back up. If she doesn't, I'm safe to go on top with the leg already outside where I want it to be, okay? Everybody's gonna have the reaction of coming back. If she does come back, I'm confident, I'm calm, I'm even resting if I need, because I know what to do for me. I know all the possibilities. I have showed you guys a lot of them. I'm still gonna cover some. But to go over a few, put it down. She's here, coming up. She reacts, putting that pressure. Make distance, hip inside, put it down, control, and stay on top. That's some options to start. Another one, similar to the previous one I showed from 50-50, but in reality, once I realized I couldn't make that transition to wide, I even stopped doing the previous one. I still like it. If I find myself there coming from another situation, it's right there, I do it. But if it's the same situation that I'm showing here, I skip that step. I realize that I can just skip that motion. So imagine we're over here, she comes, I'm blocking, now turn a little bit. I block over here, and what did I say? 50-50, but I realized why I'm gonna do that and have all that work if I can go straight into wide guard. Look what's important here. I don't have a way of controlling the person at first. So what I need to do is kind of hook my leg like this. So I'm blocking and I have a hook. Now I will make a pendulum motion with this leg. Look what I'm doing. From outside, this is the motion I make. Okay? So this is important. That motion is important. I turn my hip out to be able to get in, and now I'm making the pendulum, and I will put the hook inside. Once I put that hook, I will take that one and put it out. So look, we have an X guard. The same control from the X. You're going to recognize when I do this. I want you to get this leg and put it on my shoulder. Now you see it, right? It's an X guard. But what's the difference? I mean, reality on the Y guard. So take that step. This is where we are. Even better, why? When it's on the shoulder, I won't say better. But better for me, and it will be better for you once you understand. When it's on my shoulder, it's a struggle a lot of times. Here I have nothing stopping me from moving, as long as I keep the person. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to reach for the belt, sometimes for the skirt of the gi, and my hip is going to go inside. She's comfortable with a good base. When my hip goes inside, she loses the balance. Turn this way, please. The only reason she didn't fall straight away was because I kept my knee up. So when I do this, she's over here. I will do the same motion, but I will drop my knee. Look, again, we're coming up on the same position. So let's do it again, different angle. It's coming, moving, I'm blocking. I want to enter. Oh, it's difficult. It's difficult. It doesn't have space. What I need to do, I need to move my hip out. So this is the motion I make. I move it out, now I enter. Now I will go straight into the other leg. Once I do this, I come back, change, I'm connected. Try to run forwards and not go. It's track. I'll make it heavy. It's hard for her to keep. Together, I have the motion. I have a lot of control with my legs. I have the X with my legs. So I bring it, drop that knee, and I will come up with the leg drag in place. Perfect situation. Okay? Let me do one more without stopping. I'll do the full sequence, the full motion. So it's passing, moving with the motion. Look, change, move. Now I have it. Try to move from there, right here. Really attach, coming up, and secure the position. Very commonly, when I'm abroad and teaching a seminar, I leave space for question. And I get a lot of, hey Felipe, I get stuck here. It's a very common thing. Like I get stuck and then they show many times side control, it's like I get stuck. So this is my mentality when I get stuck somewhere. If I get stuck, it means that, for a moment, I don't know where to move, right? Then I try to think, okay, what's similar to this? And a lot of times, even if I don't know the technique, I don't know, it's a brand new situation, I'm able to compare or find the similarity of other things that I know, because it's so wide, correct? And I'm gonna give two examples that it's perfect over here. One is from half guard, and another one is from a basic self-defense situation. And now we'll connect with the wide guard, okay? You're gonna understand as I show. Let's start with a basic half guard sweep. I'm not gonna go deep into the details, but you're gonna see what I mean, the idea. So, a very popular sweep and very effective is when they cross the knee, you manage to get inside, control the hip, kind of have some control here on the hand. She's not putting pressure or anything because that's not the idea. But I use my knee to make her get past over my head. That way I turn and go to my knees. Notice that the motion I make is this. And come up. Okay? So just once again, quickly. The same one. Different angle. I get in. Knee on the butt, controlling. Turning. Look how my legs, they come. And I come up. That's one. You're going to understand soon. The other situation. Headlock defense. A very common and basic situation. We all know this, right? Pass the leg, blah, blah, blah. This time, the person holds a lot harder. Cannot get it, get stuck. So a common thing to do is control, and now we'll bridge, making her weight goes to the head. When that happens, she becomes light on the hip and heavy on the head. And that allows them to bridge to the other side. Let me show from here. You're going to see the motion of my shoulders a little bit more. I won't stop, okay? I'll do just one motion. Look. 1, 2. You probably have seen that. If you haven't seen, ask your teacher, especially if it's an older guy that was like basic self-defense movements I learned as a kid and I still love to teach. So I'm giving you two different situations. They have some similarity if you think about how it's over the head and everything. But one time I found myself when I was starting to understand the wide guard, and I found myself in that situation. So take a step over here. I'm already going to start here. Okay, I'm not going to make the whole piece. The person put the head here and start to hug my head. So I was completely stuck. Okay? If the person was here, I would force them into that. And now I was kind of stuck over here, and I thought, what do I know from here? I know two things. The half guard movement. Look what I'm going to do. Same motion. Control the arm. Look how I'm dropping away. Knee on the body. I will force her to go with the head forward. That will give freedom to my hip to turn and come up. If the person is still holding my hand, I'm not desperate. I'm going to back up. I see a lot of time, do from this side over here, hold my hand. A lot of time people are here and they're like, oh, stop. But you have to be calm and just back up. So if you find yourself here, just go back. Eventually, you're going to come out. So you see how I combine the half guard knowledge that I had before to that same situation. So once again, take that one in. Whoops, no problem. I'm over here, and now I'm going to try to go here, and it's not working. The person is keeping the pressure. I cannot post my legs for the self-defense one. If I didn't have this, look, this is what I was going to do, correct? But my leg is over here, so how am I going to post the leg? That's bad on that aspect. But on the other hand, something that I don't have when I'm doing the other one, look. And I'm going to use that to bring her. As I bring her to me, I'll do the pendulum again. And I put her to the other side, coming up, and finding myself on the other situation. So that's the reaction you do when the person is trying to headlock you. It's not really trying to escape, but just to keep themselves over there holding your head. Okay? A little bit before, you saw me doing the connection from the 50 into the right guard. Now I'm going to show a little bit of that connection from the lasso guard into the right guard. But before, I'm going to go over again, very basic. The lasso guard has so many, it could be a whole sequence about the lasso guard. And I don't want to get into it too much, but just want to show that little connection. So, to start, let's imagine the person is standing up, okay? It could be from the knees and everything, but we're working that situation right now. You have the inside control. You're going to start to go outside and hook the arm. The way you do this, again, like I said, there's many variations. Some people do it here for a purpose. Some people get a little bit deeper. Okay, there are many options. What I want you to do now is to keep it more or less here behind the triceps over here. Because I want to give the person a little bit of a freedom and the impression that they're going to pass for it. Okay? If, when you cross your leg here, they fall for that, it's perfect. Because you just grab the leg, you bring it to you, the hip moves inside. Notice how she has a certain posture. The moment that I move in, she loses that posture. And now I'm going to do the sweep. There are two things. You see how my knee is here behind the leg? That's going to help. Okay? So take that step back just for a second. So that leg is over here, and the other leg is going to be on top of that. So I'm going to have that leverage. So when she's over here, that's the motion I do. A lot of people think you have to go their way, but it's usually hard because the person can even pulse over here. The correct way to do this is going on that direction over here, okay? So come back up. Even if the person doesn't fall for it right away, let's say I put it here, she knows better, she's not coming. What I do, I go after. Here, how I put myself in the same angle. So I'm over here, I go after. And now, very important, the hip comes under. When the hip comes under, you're gonna see my knee going inside. You have the extra leverage that I need. I come this way. If she falls that way, great. Normally she won't. But I will do this that way. Stretching my leg. Over here, secure the top, and get my sweep. Okay? So that's just a glimpse of the lasso work. I can show you another one, just to be similar. That one I learned from a friend from Spain, Ezequiel Zayas. He does very well. He controls, he comes completely. See how he turns? A little bit more advanced, but you will understand and you're going to like this one. Look how he turns, turning this way. Now he has the leg free to pass around completely. You see, can you lift your body a little bit? You're going to pass right from here. So I have this, I move, and I will come. From here, he likes to control this leaf and just come out. He takes it out, put pressure. The person cannot pulse this way. You're already coming out on that direction. I'm sure there are even more details into it, but it doesn't matter because what I want you to see, and that was the click that came in my head. I realized when I saw the motion turning upside down, that's when I saw I can go into the right part from there. And that's what I want to show next. So you know how to do lasso guard and have a good understanding of this. You're just going to have to do one adaptation. So I'm going to show here. I have both sleeves. Normally they put the foot completely inside. Remember this, because a lot of times I show and I say, don't put it inside, and they do it. What I have to do, and that's where you feel a little bit uncomfortable at first, you're just going to put your heel inside, as if you're pushing the shoulder over here, okay? And I'm going to show why it's safe. Imagine you have this. Even if you just have one hand, it's safe. But for now, let's say we have both, okay? Let's say she moves fast and put knee on the belly. It's very common. And over here, they want to kind of expel my foot out of the shoulder. But in reality, that's the motion I want. Why? To move my knee back and put myself back over here. So do to this side again. Comes to the side. This is what I want. To move it back and put myself. Let's do a full circle over here. So show all angles. Move it back. She gets fast. All angles. Move it back. As long as you have that, you will be able to come to this side, okay? Now, what if she goes to the other side? Very commonly, people use that elbow. They want to kind of shove you to this side. But it won't happen because you're over here. The moment she starts to do this, I will put her on the hip. I just kick it out, and that will give me the motion to come back right in front of it. So let's do the circle the other direction. Look. Oh, motion. Put it there. Come back. Put it there. Come back. Great? Okay. Now, you understand more or less how to react from one side to the other. Now, let's lead into the wide guard. Very easy. You're going to see right away. Let's imagine that she comes to this side and I move that way. Look how much space I have. And remember, my hip comes up and I will pass over here. Okay, my hip comes up and pass. Now, I could go into 50. Remember we talked about it before? But I'm going to go that way. Now I can even let go. I use my hook and the pendulum again to the side. But I'm not letting that go. So when I put the hook to one side and bring the other one inside, I'm bringing to me with my legs. So that's the motion I make. She cannot even post. And I will come up, securing the position. Okay, so once again, the elbow. So she passes, I move it in, put it to the side, bring it back. Hook, bring it to me. Bring it to me. Stretch. Look how I'm not going to let she pose. If she pose, okay, I can still have. But ideally, I want to stretch as I stretch my legs out of the way to secure the position. Once again, now over here. Even if she doesn't, what if she doesn't come? Even if she doesn't come, she doesn't fall. You're going to go after. So if she's not moving, I'm over here, I'm going to go after. Look the motion I make. And that's the connection I made with the lasso sweep I mentioned with my Spanish friend. That he goes from here into this. I do the same. But I go straight into the wide guard. Now I come back, bring it to me. If I sweep straight away, great. But I could block here. Imagine if I'm tired. I need to rest. Give me the wide guard. You know what to do from both sides. Just follow the motion. Come on top. And you have the connection from lasso into the wide, just adapting where you're going to put your foot. New situation, once you get there, but just so to start from somewhere, I will use the previous one. So I'm over here, I'm forcing her to the side, I move her out, bring it in. Now from here, what I'm going to do is use that motion, and I'm going to kind of go up, as if I'm jumping to close guard. So I block, and I bring the person down. What if the person doesn't fall down? I already showed before, I'll put the hook and etc. The previous one. But let's imagine we are here and the person is down. So it finds itself over here. That could happen from many other positions. I just chose to start from this one. So I'm going to do it this way. Okay, now her reaction, it's very common, especially when the person finds the knee on their position, that they want to spin into the reverse half guard. If I wouldn't move it, wouldn't do anything, the person would do this. Sometimes even trying to attack like a leg lock, sometimes just trying to secure itself on half guard position. That's super common, okay? Remember we had the sleeve, we're gonna keep that. But I won't fight hard to have this. Every time the person turns, go again, turn, the person always posts, okay? It's nearly impossible to do without posting. So, when she starts having that reaction, I will go with it. But I won't let she keep going to be able to attack my legs, for example. So go ahead, start moving. At this, keep going, keep going. At this point, I just secure. If she tries to go to a leg lock, she won't have the arm, okay? So I'm having this, I'm trapped the arm. Now the motion that I make, let's turn this way a little bit. I'll do other angles later, but just for you to see from the start. I cannot stay flat. The same way that she has made an angle towards my body, I will make an angle towards her body. And it's important that I keep holding her arm with downward. In reality, I will be facing downward. I'm just going like this so you can see my face as I talk. My hip gonna turn towards her. Remember that? Now I have to turn. Look, this is what I do. When I do that, it will be easy for me to change legs, and I will tangle her leg over here like a grapevine. Okay? So I'm doing that motion. It's hard for her to stop. She doesn't have that arm, remember? I'm holding. So I do that turn. Now what I have to do, I stretch my leg, I go belly down into my knees. So turn this way a little bit. That's the position I am. And all I have to do is slide this towards the direction. Remember, I'm sliding the knee. Don't do this, much harder. Just slide. You have the hand. All you need to do is to come back. As you slide, to come back, secure, and you are on the back. Okay? I'll do other angles so you see. Let's start straight away from the position. Now she wants to turn. Look, I'm holding this leaf. I'm turning that way. Leg gets in. Once I hold, I know I have it. I'm turning to my knees. I'm securing the position and come back. Once again, this angle. Remember, I always hold, but I don't fight for it. I let she move. And if she moves, I'm going. I'm anticipating. See how I came up even higher this time. Sometimes all you can do is kind of go like belly down. Turn this way. Sometimes you're a little bit stuck. You cannot go up. You just go belly down. Then you come up. Sometimes you have enough space. You already have tangled the leg. Then you can easily come up like this. No problem. Either way. Knee goes in that direction. You are basically on the back. Okay? Important, and a question I get a lot. What if you lose this lead? What if you don't have this lead? What if it's a no-gi situation? So take a step. If that happens, the person will still put it. This is what I'm going to do. Dive in with my hand inside. Okay? What you cannot do, and again, mistake I see a lot, stay here. That hand come here. People want to come with that hand. No. That hand has to go inside. So keep the motion turning out. Here. Look, the person is trapped. Turn this way, turn this way. Look, trapped. Doesn't matter. It can be a very strong person. You're safe. You're only in danger if you just put a little bit of your arm. And then it might be a silly arm bar here. I've never tapped for that. But I don't do that mistake either. Come back up. Now, go. Look, I go deep into it. If it's not deep, I hold and I adjust. The person fights back. That's common. The more the person fights, hold it very tight. The more you're going to move the person, the easier it will be to move the person. So you're tight, come in, slide, secure the hand close to you, and you're safe to go to the back and start attacking. So now we have the reaction when the person starts turning, going to the reverse half guard. This one is one of my favorite entrances into the right guard. If perhaps you found it a little bit difficult to do the other entrances, that one's going to work easy. Okay? And then once you get there, the continuation is similar to the previous technique, but there is a little detail that I'm going to talk about. But let's start from here. So we are on like a spider word, I would say, but I have the inside control. Look, very basic. Foot on the biceps. The foot on the hip is going to step in. Okay? And now I'm going to open my arms. So this is what happens. Okay? I force the person to roll forward. I know that leg it's gonna come close to my shoulder. So when I do this, I prepare to catch inside. So again, post, bring it in. Look what I do right away. Now important, I cannot stay here. I bring the leg that was on the ground inside. And now I will put it together over here. And I will start to stretch. Even if I let go the grip now, it's fine, okay? I will start to stretch, and it's common that she's gonna look for her base by posting the hands, okay? At this point, the person is kind of fighting. Sometimes you get a chance to just come up, awesome. But a lot of times, they fight to get back and be heavy again. And I don't like to do a lot of strength, especially from that situation. So what I do? That, okay? When I do that, and the person insisting on come back, it's going to come, look, my knee's inside, right? I'm just gonna stretch and open. It's going to come straight into my closed right one. Perfect, everything I wanted. You can do everything you learned before, but I'm gonna show you what I like to do when they're not moving, okay? I have my hand inside, I'll make it grip over here. Sometimes I even turn that way because I want her to go in that direction. And sometimes I kind of hold and push. Either way. My other hand, remember I say I always look for the grip? So I will do both. I will trick her into go that direction. Once that happens, it's very tempting that she keeps the motion because otherwise she's giving it back. So come back a little bit. So once you start going, it's the previous technique. I'm going to start to follow. See how I don't stop? And I enter, I tempo the leg. I have it over here. Okay? So I could just do the previous one, but I'm going to show a situation that happens when the person kind of already fell for it or kind of know you might go to the back. I still have this lead, but they start to go. What do you do when somebody tries to take your back as a defense? You try to put your back in the ground, right? She could go straight down. Go ahead, put your back in the ground, and I would get top. She might think better than if it takes my back. When I feel that's happening, I will bring that arm inside, kind of like a lock over here. It's very difficult to finish the person. But when that happens, come a little bit this way so we don't get out of there. And go. When that happens and I feel I'm gonna lose, I'm not having the time to start to drop, I will drop as well. But then I will roll over my right shoulder. To remember, if you have the right leg tempo, you roll over the right shoulder. That's the motion you make to control. Okay? You only do that if the person reacts. Otherwise, you're doing a fancy movement, beautiful movement, but not so necessary if you can just do the previous one. So why would I do the other one? When they're defending. And then you're going to turn and go straight into it. Okay? Show that angle. Here. Step. Move. Come in. Knee together. Stretch this way. Turn. If she stays there, very first technique, that's where we are. But now she's coming back, she's heavy, but it's not going the other way. I control, I force her, I tempt her, and she goes to the reverse. As that's happening, I'm going as well. Bring the arm, she's falling. I go with it. Escape my hip to adjust and secure the back. Once again, I think I showed that one. Let's show this way. So, boom, step, bring it in, forcing. First one is not working, control. That one is not going. Forcing this way, turn, come up. Now, I can do the basic one. She defends, I turn. Over here, adjust my hip outside. And secure the back. So basically, I'm showing different ways of entering, as I promised in the beginning, and different reactions and what you have to do. Okay? You're very much connected. I hope you're seeing all the dots that I'm connecting as well. I'm going to show now the defense when your opponent goes to the reverse half guard. It's one of my favorites. I like that one very much. It might be it comes to my head two simple situations. One, perhaps they're crossing the knee, you manage to get the inside. They know if they don't do this for the moment, they know they're going to get trapped here. So as a defense, they switch, put the hip down, and control it. Or it might be, go back from the beginning. You know when people like kind of take a step and already go into it? Like control, and a lot of people love that, okay? First concern, you see how my hand's over here? I want to hug her hip. If I don't do this, she's gonna have freedom to move it out, shove my leg down. See how the hip is far away from me and start to make it even harder to defend. So first concern, hug the hip. Can you see my hand over here? I think maybe, yes. So keep her with me. The second thing people do the most is shove that leg down. Remember what I mentioned? So what I'm going to do, after her in the hip, I will control her leg, control the pants or like this, and I will point my knee out, okay? Almost as if the person is floating. If I can lift the person, even better. Not so common, but it happens. This is what I want to do. The more I move it out, you're gonna see the foot is almost coming out because I'm overreacting. I'm stretching like this. So you might think this is dangerous, but that's the intention. You're safe because you're holding the leg or making a grip. If I would do this and have nothing, she would just retreat and I'm in trouble. But because I have this, look what I'm going to do now. I stretch my outside leg and I bring it back. That's the motion I make. I don't stop over here. But you're going to notice one thing. When it's over here, she's fine and comfortable. When I do this, I force her knee inside a little bit. So it's common that the person tries to adjust the hip. That's the motion I want because now I will bridge up. Okay, I do that motion over here. That's what I'm looking for. Once I do this, I will come on top by bringing that leg back. So I do that motion and turn my belly down. Look the motion over here. That's the motion. Look. Up and down. All the way. Belly button down. And then you stay on top. It's not this. You might even get away with that. But you rely on explosion and you rely on strength, on your opponent being lighter than you. If you want to do with somebody who is strong, in good shape, and good base, you're going to have to do that motion. So this is what I'm doing, look. Bring it back. See how I'm doing that motion? That's when I come up. Belly down and come on top. Do from that angle. Look. Hug. Point it out. Bring it. Up. Turn. Finish. Coming on top. Okay. Then you might ask me, what if the person jumps to the other side when you do this? It might happen. So get over here. When I'm doing this, the person realizes and just go ahead and jump. If I don't do anything, keep going, the person turns to the other side. But I'm expecting this. I know that either that's going to happen or they're going to change. When they change, you see how I'm controlling? Try to go. I won't let. So if I'm aware of it, it will be difficult. But when she tries to do, I will follow her. I'm not stopping. I'm following and going to the back. You're going to see from that angle better. So, cross, come, so jump, look. I just follow. Follow. She's holding the head, doesn't matter. I just back up and secure the position on top. So it has these two options, one side to the other, very high percentage. Once I start doing this, I even stop doing the other things that I used to do. And I have a lot of cool things that I do from there, but that became my favorite one. There's one important detail. Did you notice where I can connect this to the white guard? Think it for a second. Rewind a little bit the tape. Try to think. I will show you now. The moment you can connect to the white guard is when you get over here, turn this way a little bit. Think it'll be better. You do this, and she decides to jump. All I have to do is stretch my leg. She falls into it straight away. Okay? I use that a lot when I want to control the pace of the fight. Instead of going, I control, because you know what you do. And most of the time, my opponents, they don't know what you do. So it's a big advantage to find yourself over here. What if she doesn't step? Look, now let's turn this way, come over here. What if she doesn't come? I'll go after her. If I do this, she stay here, I do that, she's not going. Look what I do. Instead of reaching completely, I'm throwing that leg. And I'm catching her. So now it's her decision. If she doesn't do anything, I will come up. Normally, they decide to come. Okay, I don't sweep right away, but I adjust everything, walk. And I won't show another detail yet, but at least I'm trying to open your eyes to the connections. And that's a very good one of my favorites. Now I'm going to show one of my favorites. It's hard to pick one because I really like everything that I'm showing. I really enjoy, I really do this in training and competition a lot. But to start, I'll do the sequence that we had it before, just not to be lost and start straight from it. So imagine I'm on the guard, the person is passing, choose to come. So very often, I don't even let the person establish the weight. When he's doing on the process, go back a little bit. When the person is coming, if I get the chance, I'm already doing that motion. That allows me to turn a little bit this way, to throw the leg and look. So I kind of walk over here and turn a little bit more. So yes, you see how I go in and I put like a triangle. And if I get the chance to trap, even better, okay? I'm in no way trying to hurt her. I'm not trying to stretch anything like this. I avoid this very much. I know it can be dangerous for the knee. It's not my intention. But I can do that. Maybe there are certain tournaments you can do. I don't care. But I always train or fight with certain concerns. I don't want to hurt my opponent or my training partner. Okay? So I advise you to do the same. So imagine you have this, or at least that. Basically, you have the white. Remember I said, once you get over here, it's her choice. She's going to stay there. I'm going to go up. Very often, people come up. And that's where I want to go from. When it's over here, people realize when they have an idea what's going on, that what they can do is kind of stand up and take their leg out this way. So if they open up and undo the position, they're out. So when I notice they want to make distance, this is what I do. Look, I push, I hold the belt or the gi, and I close my elbow over here. They're already frustrated that attempt to turn the leg the other way. Okay? They're not going to try to go over the head. It's not going to happen. I'm blocking. They try to kind of slide over here that way. Okay? But just by controlling, let me turn a little bit, this blocks. And if I have the lockdown on the leg, what I do is I bring it and I hug. Now, really connect over here. Once I have a full control of the person, and I will bring it up, stretch for the person to fall down. I keep it locked. Only in the hands I can unlock if it makes it easier for me to come on top. Okay? So what you have to understand is the person is coming out, you kind of connect to them. Lock, and that's the motion you do to come up. That's the motion you do to come up. Okay? Let's try from that angle to change a little bit. So coming, turning. What I already do? I'm already falling into it. I get it. I don't have to rush. I'm in a good position. I can come up like this, remember? But if they do come, look what I do. I connect. I stay here. Probably my head would be inside. I'm just putting here so you can hear my voice better. But over here, I will have that motion, and it will be easy to turn and put it out. Okay? So my head is probably here. If the person is trying to be heavy on me, if she's heavy over there, I know what to do, right? The person is heavy on me, I cannot go there. That's what I do. Over here, come up, secure the position, control. That's another little thing that makes a huge difference. When I'm coming up, I always reach for the elbow. If I don't do that, there is a chance she might keep going, maybe even attack my leg. But if I come on top and I secure the elbow, it's gold. It's very good. I keep it here. I'm safe until I'm able to pass to this side. Once I manage to put in the right guard, doesn't matter so much the reaction of my opponent, I feel very comfortable, okay? But if you ask me, but what should I do? What should I do to prevent? Sometimes I don't even have the exact answer because I have the steps to make it harder for you. And I'm not having somebody putting me on those same situations to figure out all the answers for the things that I'm doing. But for my friends, my training partners, what I find it hard is when they manage to stand up before I manage to have my grips or the safety points that I like to do, okay? But I'm going to give here one example when the person is trying to stand up and I avoid and I do lose the wide guard, but because I have a safety grip, I'm able to take advantage of the position and still swing. So, example here, going straight into it. Come down for the moment. So imagine I'm over here and maybe over the head. I have a clear habit of having this lead all the time. If she just tries to stand up from here, it's not going to happen because look, take that hand away. She tries to go, my leg is keeping. Normally what she needs to do, knee on the ground and shove the knee down. Okay? And on that process, I have things I do it as well. When she starts doing this, I catch, I control, there are things to do. But let's imagine she was able to start to go and clear the leg. She's still trapped a little bit. Look, I'm still controlling here. That leg's over here. I should not leave space for her to take a step back. Or she just undid the position. So when that happens, I want to be close. I like to switch hands. Come with my hand inside and make a good grip over here. Okay? Now I try to come in my elbow. She's trapped, but I'm trapped too if I don't release that triangle. It's hard for me to come. And because her hips are high, it's hard for me to just make anything with my hip to take her balance away. So normally what I do, I force her to take a step forward. By doing this, I do a technical stand up and I come up controlling the heel. This is what I do, look. Boom. Once you get over here, you have to be careful. I had situations in tournaments where the person were jumping out for their life and I even ran after, but I lost the position, okay? But if you get over here, that's leave, it takes, what you should do is come up and force the person back. You see that I did this sloppy movement, she already lost the balance. Why? Because she cannot keep the balance backward. If I want to make it tight, perfect, everything correct, once I have over here, I'll make it tight, okay? So take a step forward, I'm coming, I'm connect the whole time. And skip a little bit to the back, yes. I'm connected over here. And now what I do the semi-circle with that knee going to the ground. That's the motion over here. So it falls down, I follow, and I secure the position. Let me do from that side now. From beginning, come down. I'm over here, I have it. You put it down, start to come up. I go in. Now I'm forcing, coming up. I force the person to take a step forward. Control, connected. I don't want to do this. I want to bring her leg with me. And I'll step forward and put it down. Secure the position. Secure the top. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you get something out of those techniques and you try and put it in your game. I can say that the live-guard, it's a concept, an idea that have changed my game for better. And I have to be very honest, and I'm careful with my words over here, because what I can say is that I have never seen anybody doing the sequence like this, okay? So am I saying that I invented this? That's not what I meant to say. I think it's very tricky to say I have invented this. What I can say for sure is that I have not learned that sequence, the way of thinking from anybody. I have learned half guard, I have learned 50-50, I have learned many details, I learn every day from many people. But I think if I can point something that I have to say in my favor is that I was able to put it together and come up with this sequence. And I encourage you to do the same. Maybe you're gonna copy me at first, maybe you're gonna copy somebody, but you have to try to think Jiu-Jitsu like a language. Okay, I have wrote about this before, and I believe very much martial art is like this. Okay, I can teach you a word, a two, but I cannot guarantee the sentence you're gonna come up with. It's gonna be a beautiful one or a little bit more rude. I mean, it doesn't have a right path to do it. Okay, you have to be able to understand that little things that you learn here and there are able and connected, are able to be connected, and they are connected in some level. So I hope I have helped you a little bit to see the way, and hope to see you in the mats in the future. Thanks a lot. Send me a feedback. I'll be very happy to hear what I have to say from all these techniques. Find me on any social media, Felipe Costa, BJJ.